If you want to see our previous videos, then click the channel name or picture below the video. Otherwise, search my channel name Indian Epic History on YouTube and select playlist option for all my videos like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bible, Quran, Ved Puran. This is Buri Critical Mahabharata book chapter 56. Vidura said, gambling is the root of all quarrels. Its consequence is dissension and great wars. Talking resource to it, Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra's son, creates terrible enmity. Because of Duryodhana's crime, all the descendants of Pratipa and Shantanu, together with their terrible armies and with the descendants of the Balikas, will be destroyed. Like an angry bull that breaks its own horns forcibly. Duryodhana's stupidity will drive safety away from this kingdom. O king, a brave and wise man who disregards his sagacity and follows another mind is like one who goes to the sea in a boat guided by a child and is immersed in terrible affliction. Duryodhana is gambling with Pandava and it pleases you because you think he is winning. But in this overdone deed is created a war that will lead to the destruction of all men. This badly designed act will lead to a decline in fruits. So, friends, Vidura was right. I think so. In the heart of the one who has resorted to counsel, there is great composure. Friendship with Yudhishthira will lead to good fruit. Through pacification, the one with the excellent bow will no longer exhibit enmity, O descendants of Pratipa, O descendants of Shantanu, O kings, listen to Kavya's words and do not cross the limits. The terrible fire has blazed forth. Extinguish it before there is a war. If Pandava Ajatsatru is defeated in dies and his anger is not pacified by Brikodara, Sabyasachi and the twins means Nakul Sahadev, there will be no refuge in the terrible onslaught that will ensue. Brikodara means Bhim, Sabyasachi means Arjun. O great king, you are a source of great riches as much as you desired even before this game. Even if you win great riches from the Pandavas, what is the gain? Pritha's sons are the source of wealth. We all know Shobala's skills in the game. This one, Shobala means Shakuni. This one from the mountains knows techniques of a decade with dice. Descendant of the Bharata lineage, let Shakuni return whence he come. The one from the mountains fights with the powers of Maya. Next chapter 57, Duryodhana said, O Shata, you always take pride in praising the fame of our enemies, and enemies means Pandava. Secretly deprecate Dhritarashtra's sons. O Vidura, we know whom you are friends to. You always look down upon us as if we are children. The man whose love is elsewhere is clearly revealed from the way he distributes censure and praise. Your tongue reveals your heart and mind, and that your mind is antagonistic. We embraced you like a serpent, like a cat. You endure the one by whom you are sustained. It is said there is no sin worse than killing one's protector. O Shatha, how is it that you don't fear sin? Having vanquished our enemies, we have obtained great fruits. O Shatha, do not use harsh words against us. You always praise friendship with those who hate us, and that is the reason you harbor hatred towards us. A man becomes an enemy by uttering unpardonable words. He secretly hides the praise for the enemies. How does shame not stop you? You are now speaking whatever you desire. You know your mind and do not disregard us. Learn from proximity with those who are wise and old. O Vidura, protect the fame you have earned so far. Do not concern yourself with the affairs of others. O Vidura, do not deprecate us by mentioning your deeds. Do not always use such harsh words against us. O Vidura, I never ask you what you think. O Shata, diseased because our patience is wearing down. There is one controller and there is no second controller. That controller controls when a man is asleep in the womb. Through his control, like water flowing downwards, I flow in the direction appointed by him. He who uses his head to break a stone and he who feeds a serpent are controlled in those deeds by his instructions. He who wishes to control another by force only finds an enemy. A learned one looks up to those who act in friendship. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, if one lights a blazing fire and does not escape from it, even the remnants of ashes will not be found anywhere. O Shata, one should not give shelter to someone who hates and is from the enemy's party, especially if that man bears ill will. O Vidura, therefore go wherever you wish, however well treated, an unchaste wife will always live. Vidura replied, O king, he who gives to a man in this fashion, for him all friendship comes to an end. The minds of kings are always unsteady. After granting protection, they slay with clubs. O son of a king, you do not think yourself to be a child. O evil minded one, you consider me to be a child. One who has first accepted a man as a well wisher and then reviles him is the one who is a child. One with an evil mind never does that which brings welfare, like a corrupt woman in the house of a learned Brahmana. That which is certain does not please this bull among the Bharatas, like a 60 years old husband to a young woman. O king, if you only wish to hear words that please you in all deeds, regardless of good or bad, ask a woman, the dull and the crippled, go ask those who are likewise stupid. O descendant of the Pratipa lineage, it is certainly easy to find a man who says things that pleases you. It is rare to find those who render unpleasant and right advice. He who sticks to the path of dharma and offers advice to his lord regardless of whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, however unpleasant, is a true aid to the king, O great king, drink that which is healthy, bitter, pungent, hot, harsh, foul smelling, and revolting. This is what you could always drink, and the evil refuse. Drink it and regain your calm. I always wish fame and prosperity to Vijitavirya's sons and their sons. Wherever you may be, I pay you my respects. May the Brahmanas utter benedictions over me. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, I will carefully tell you this. Learned ones should never anger serpents that have venom in their eyes. Next chapter 58. Shakuni said, O Yudhishthira, you have lost great riches of the Pandavas. O Kaunteya, do you have any other riches that you have not lost yet? Yudhishthira replied, O Shakuni, O Shobala, I know of unlimited riches that I possess. Why do you ask me about the world? I can stake Ayuta, Prayuta, Kharba, Padma, Arbuda, Shamka, Nikharba, and an entire ocean, O king. These are my riches that I will pay with you for. Vishnupaina said. At these words, Shakuni resorted to decade and told Yudhishthira, I have won. Yudhishthira replied, O Shobala, I have many cattle, horses, milch, cows, sheep, and goats of many species to the east of the Sindhu. O king, these are my riches that I will play with you for. Vishampayana said. At these words, Shakuni resorted to decade and told Yudhishthira, I have won. Yudhishthira replied, O king, the riches that I have left are my city, my country, the land of all the non-Brahmanas and the non-Brahmana subjects, O king. These are my riches that I will play with you for. Vishnupaina said. At these words, Shakuni resorted to decade and told Yudhishthira, I have won. Yudhishthira replied, O king, these princes are resplendent in their ornaments, their earrings, the golden decorations on their breasts, and the other bodily decorations, O king. These are my riches that I will play with you for. Vishnupaina said. At this word, Shakuni resorted to decade and told Yudhishthira, I have won. I have won. Yudhishthira replied, this dark youth with the red eyes is Nakula, the smallest Pandav, Nakula, with long arms and the shoulders of a lion. He and everything that he possesses will be one stake. Shakuni said, O king Yudhishthira, but Prince Nakula is dear to you. If he becomes part of our riches, what will you have left to gamble with? Vishnupaina said. Having said this, Shakuni then flung the dice and told Yudhishthira, I have won. Yudhishthira replied, this Sadeva is the one who administers dharma. He is known in the world as a learned one. Through this beloved prince does not deserve it, I will play with him with one who is not loved. Vishnupaina said. At this word, Shakuni resorted to decade and told Yudhishthira, I have won. Shakuni said, O king, I have now won Madri's two sons, Nakul Sahadev, dear to you, but I think you regard Bhimsena and Dhananjaya as dearer. Yudhishthira replied, O foolish one, without regard to what is proper, you are following that which is not dharma. You are trying to create decision among those who are one of heart. Shakuni said, O king, Obul among the birth lineage, one who is intoxicated falls into a hole and remains there like the trunk of a tree. You are our elder and our superior. I bow down before you, O Yudhishthira. When gamblers play, they utter mad ravings about what they have not seen, whether asleep or awake. Yudhishthira replied, Lion, like a boat, he carries us over to the other banks of battle. He is a powerful prince who defeats his enemies. The world knows that this warrior does not deserve it. O Shakuni, I will play with you for Falguna, means Dhananjaya Arjuna. Vaishnampana said, at these words, Shakuni resorted to deceit and told Yudhishthira, I have won. Shakuni said, Pandava Sabyasachi, the foremost archer among the Pandavas, has been won and has become mine, O king. Now play with your beloved Bhima. That is all you now have left to throw. Yudhishthira replied, He is our leader and guide in battle. He is like a wielder of the Vajra, the enemy of the demons. He is great of soul, with slanted eyes and knitted brows. His soldiers are like those of a lion, and his anger is long lasting. There is no other man with strength like this. He is the slayer of enemies and foremost among those who wield the club. O king, through this prince does not deserve it, I will play with you for Bhimsena. Vishnupada said, at this word, Shakuni resorted to deceit and told Yudhishthira, I have won. Shakuni said, O Kaunteya, you have lost a great deal of riches. You have lost your brothers, your horses, and your elephants. Tell us if there are any riches that you have not yet lost. Yudhishthira replied, I myself am left, specially loved by all my brothers. If Ono over until the time of destruction, I will do whatever deed I am asked to do. Vaishnampana said, at this word, Shakuni resorted to deceit and told Yudhishthira, I have won. Shakuni said, O king, you have allowed yourself to be won, and you have committed the worst evil act. When there are riches left, it is evil to allow oneself to be won. Vaishnampana said, thus spoke the one who was skilled in gambling with the dice he had won in the game, one by one the brave warriors of the world. Shakuni said, but you have your beloved queen, who has still not been won in the game. Use Krishna Panchali, means Draupadi, as a stake and using her win back yourself. Yudhishthira replied, she is neither too short nor too tall. She is neither too dark nor too red. Her eyes are red with love, and I will play with you for her. Her eyes are like the petals of lotuses in the autumn. Her fragrance is like that of lotuses in the autumn. Her beauty serves that of lotuses in the autumn. Her beauty is like that of Shri herself. Such is her lack of cruelty, her wealth of beauty, and the goodness of her conduct, that every man desires her for a wife. She retires to bed last, and she is the first one to wake up. She looks after the cowherds and the sheepherds. She knows everything about what should be done and what should not be done. When covered with sweat, her face looks like a lotus or a jasmine. That means she is knowledgeable, intelligent. Her waist is shaped like an altar. Her hair is long. Her eyes are copper red. She does not have too much of body hair. O king, O Shobhala, I will make the beautiful Draupadi of Panchala, slender of waist, my stake, let us play. Vasampayana said, when the intelligent Dharmaraja uttered these words, all the elders, ashamed in the Sabha, raised words of shame. O king, the Sabha seemed to shake, and the kings talked among themselves. Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, and the others broke out in sweat. Vidura uh, buried his head in his hands and sat with a downcast face, thinking and sighting like a serpent, like one who has lost his senses. But Dhritarashtra was delighted and, failing to control his emotions, repeatedly kept asking, has he won? The Dhritarashtra asking, has the stake been won? Karna, Dushasana, and their allies were happy, but tears began to flow down the eyes of others who were in the assembly hall. However, Shovala was insolent with success and proud of victory. He instantly flung the dice and said, I have won. Next chapter 59. Duryodhana said, O Shata, bring Draupadi here, the beloved and honored wife of Pandava. Let her sweep and perform our tasks. It will be good to see her with the serving girls. Vidura replied, through people like you, the impossible happens, O evil one. You do not know that you are tying yourself in a noose. You do not realize that you are extended over a precipice. You are only a deer, but you are angering tigers, O one who is greatly evil at heart. Angry serpents full of great venom have raised themselves above your head. Do not anger them and go to Yama's abode. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, Krishna, means Draupadi, has not yet become a slave. The king offered her as stake when he was no longer his master. A bamboo bears fruit only to kill itself. This king Dhritarashtra's son also bears fruit. He does not see that gambling leads to fearful enmity and that he is ripe. Like one about to meet his destiny, no one should cause hurt or act cruelly, nor should one extract from one who is miserable. Words that cause pain and hurt others should not be uttered because they lead to hell. From his lips a man utters words that hurt. The one stung by them burns night and day. Therefore, learned ones do not utter words that unleashed on another. Praise the depths of the heart when a weapon could not be found by pawing the ground. It is said that a goat dug up a weapon that was used to cut its own throat. Therefore, do not dig up an enmity with the sons of Pandu. No one speak ill of the forest dweller or householder, but like dogs, the same men bark at the ascetic who is full of learning. Dhritarashtra's son does not know the crooked and terrible door that leads to hell. Dushasana and the many others among the Kurus will follow him there. Through the route of gambling, gods may sing and stones may float. Boats may eternally be lost on the seas, but King Dhritarashtra's uh, deluded son will not listen to my words, which are appropriate for him. It is certain that this will be the end of the Kurus, a terrible end that will lead to everyone's destruction. The words of Kavya and his well-wishers were apt, but because greed has expanded, they are no longer listened to. Next chapter 60. Bishambhana said Dhritarashtra's son was insolent with pride. He said, Shata be damned in the midst of all the revered ones in the assembly hall. He looked at the attendant and said, O Pratikamin, go and bring Draupadi here. You have no reason to fear the Pandavas. It is only Shata who is scared and speak to the contrary, but he never wishes that our prosperity should increase. Having heard these words of the king, the Shuta attendant swiftly departed and went to the queen of the Pandavas like a dog entering a lion's lair. The attendant said, O Draupadi, Yudhishthira was intoxicated by gambling and has lost you to Duryodhana. O Yagyaseni, now come to Dhritarashtra's house. I must take you for the task you have to perform. Draupadi replied, O Pratikamin, how can you speak like this? Can any prince stake his wife in a gamble? The king must have been deluded in his intoxication for a game. Could he not find anything else for the stake? The attendant said, Pandava Ajatsatru offered you as stake when there was nothing left as stake. The king had earlier staked his brothers and then himself. O princess, he next staked you. Draupadi replied, O son of Suta, go back to a assembly hall and ask that gambler from the Bharata lineage whether he first lost himself or me. O son of Suta, after having found this out, come back to me. He went to the assembly hall and repeated Draupadi's words. Draupadi wants to know, whose lord were you when you lost me? Did you lost yourself first or me? Yudhishthira said there unmoved, like one who has lost his senses. He did not reply to a Suta. In words that were either good or bad, Duryodhana said, let Panchali Krishna come here and ask the question herself. Let everyone in the Sabha hear what they have to say to each other. The attendant was in Duryodhana's service and went to the king's house. Through miserable, the Suta told Draupadi, O princess, those in the assembly hall are summoning you. It seems to be that the destruction of the Kurus is near. O princess, since that weak-minded one wants you in the Sabha, he will no longer be able to protect our prosperity. Draupadi replied, the one who determines everything has a destined thirst. Both the young and the old are touched thus. It has been said that Dharma is supreme in this world. If it is sustained, peace will be brought. O bull among the Bharata lineage, on hearing of Duryodhana's intention, Yudhishthira sent a trusted messenger to Draupadi. Panchali was going through her menses then. She was weeping and cladded in a single garment tied below the navel. She went to the Sabha and stood before her father-in-law, looked at the faces of the assembly. King Duryodhana delightedly told the Suta, O Pratikamin, bring her here, let her be in front of us so that the Kauravas can speak to her. The Suta was in his servitude, but was scared of the wrath of Drupada's daughter. Giving up his pride, he told the assembly, "How can I speak to Krishna?" Means Draupadi. Duryodhana said, "O Dushasana, this son of a Suta has a limited intelligence. He is pretended of Brikodara, Bhima. Go and bring Yagisani here yourself. Our rebels are now under our control. They can do nothing." Having heard this, brother, the prince arose. His eyes were red with anger. He entered the house of those Marathas and told Princess Draupadi, "O Panchali, O Krishna, you have been won by us. Look upon Duryodhana without any shame. O one with eyes like long lotus petals, you will now love the Kurus. You have been won in accordance with Dharma. Come to the Sabha." She arose in the great distress and wiped her pale face with her hands. In distress, she ran to where the aged king, who was a bull among the Kurus, women were. Swiftly, the angry Dushasana rushed at her, letting out a great roar. The long, blue, and flowing hair belonged to the wife of a lord of men and was now grabbed by him. At the time of the great Rashuya sacrifice, the hair had been sprinkled with auspicious waters. The valor of the Pandavas was vanquished, and Dhritarashtra's son grabbed it with force. She had a protector, but was without a protector. Grabbing her by her long hair, Dushasana pulled and dragged her to the Sabha like a plantain free buffet by the wind. When she was thus dragged, she bent down her body and softly whispered, "It is the period of my menses now, O evil minded one. I am only clad in a single garment. O you who are not an Arya, do not take me to the Savathas." But he forcibly grabbed her by the black hair and told Krishna, "Pray to Krishna and Jishnu and Hari and Nara. Cry out for help, but I will take you, O Yagyaseni. This may be the time of your menses. But whether you are clad in a single garment or in no garment at all, you have been won at the game and are now a slave. One can sport with a slave as the desires." Her hair was disheveled as she was pulled around by Dushasana. Okay, thank you. We will meet in next video.